Hey there, thank you for joining us. Today we are continuing our series on how to get good care from a call center or how to get your problem solved from a call center. And we are going to talk today about why you should never ask for a supervisor to get your problem solved. First and foremost, supervisors become supervisors because they're good at saying no. And I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios here that illustrate this point. And the first one is about someone who didn't know how to work the system, and the second one is about someone who did. So the first guy calls, he tells me that he wants to talk to a supervisor. And his service was atrocious. His service, I looked at his account, his service was so bad that if it would have been me, I would have quit. I would have said no. When they handed me to retention to try and talk me back in to keeping the account, I would have said no. I don't want your deal. I just want you to close this account. I want to cancel my account right now. That's how bad his service was. Now, the guy called up, he wanted either he wanted a $70 credit, but he also had to talk to a supervisor. Okay. And once that happens, if someone insists that they talk to a supervisor, as a care associate, you have got to oblige him or her of that. So I ask, do you mind if we go ahead and go over the problem here? And then that will allow me to tell the supervisor what's going on so you won't have to start over on this. And he said, sure. I said, there is a wait right now. So it took about 10 minutes for the supervisor to get there. And I put the guy on hold. I said, I told the supervisor exactly what was going on. And the supervisor gets back on the phone now. And this is not the first time this happened. If I had $10 for every time that this happened, I'd have the start of a retirement plan. Anyhow, he gets back on the line and says, "Hi, my name is so and so. How can I help you?" And then dead silence. So this guy has to go all the way back through his problem again. It made me look bad, made me look like I didn't do anything. Anyhow, he gives him a $25 credit and 12 weeks at 50% off. And I would have given this guy the $70 he was asking for. Like I said, his service was atrocious. There was no excuse for that. I also would have made sure to get a higher level complaint in or figured out some way to monitor and to fix that problem, even if the results were incremental on it. Accordingly, I would have also said rather than a 12-week promotion at 50% off, I would have given him a half a year. So not only did he lose money on that situation, that supervisor was not going to customize his care for that customer. Now, I'm going to tell you another story about somebody who did know how to work the system. He had been in that field before, and he called up, had basically the same exact problem. It had been going on for about a month after having good service for years. And he said, I know this business, and I want to know what you think. How do you think is the fastest way to get my problem solved? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead, write a complaint on this. I'll put you on a monitor system here. Every Monday, I will check in on your account. If it's doing better, you won't hear from me. If it's not doing good, I'll give you a call and we'll keep going up that food chain until we get your problem fixed. And he said, well, that's good because, if this doesn't get solved, then I'm going to go to the Better Business Bureau to get my money back for this month, which was $82. And he said, in fact, I don't think I should really have to pay it right now. I said, oh, no worries. I'll credit you the $82 right here and now. And then I gave him a transaction ID number. And his service did improve. But here's this guy who knew he didn't have to wait for 10 minutes for the supervisor. He knew that the person who answered the phone was the one who knew what happened there, and he got his needs met. And he also got the $82 credit that he thought that he was going to have to take some kind of formal action to get. So I did have and a lot of places do have like $100 cap of a credit that they can allot without having to go to a supervisor. So if it involves a credit, don't always think that that supervisor is your way to get a credit. This brings me to point two. Supervisors are also trained to know how to manage your responses and your emotions. So they're there to be, in essence, a smokescreen. I don't want to make any supervisors mad. Never came across a supervisor who could do anything more than what I could do in a given situation, and many times he or she did less. So just assuming that because they're a little bit higher on the food chain that they're going to get you what you need is a misconception. And it almost always undeniably ended up costing customers precious time and just being so frustrating. I got to the point that I was just like, oh, please don't ask for a supervisor. Please, I just can't do that today. I can't do that today, let alone I don't want to see you have to go through that today. So let's just not go there today. Anyhow, so if you want to get if you think that the service that you're getting from the call rep that you're talking to, now this is after you followed the advice in the first video in this series, and that is getting a sincere customer care representative. And that has everything to do in how they apologize to you. If somebody can come right out and say, I am so sorry, let's fix that, rather than, and I definitely do apologize for you having those problems today, but those charges are valid. You need to find someone who is going to help you. And if that person sounds insincere, if the person that you call sounds insincere, you need to hang up and call back. Then trust that that person is going to help you. And most, like I said, are set up to do so. Now, if you think you need to go over that person's head, ask for the team lead or the team manager. And terminology is very important here because the team lead or the team manager has a wider girth of what he or she can do for you. And it is possible to get to him or her. So let's say you call up, you say, I really want to talk to your team lead. And the agent says, well, no, I can get you a supervisor. I can't get you my team lead. Be insistent. Say, I really do not want a supervisor. I want to talk to your team lead or your team manager. And that person should accommodate you. If they refuse 2 or 3 times, that's just a back and forth. I mean, ultimately, you're not going to end that call until you talk to the team manager, and he or she should oblige. Another and a very important point, and this is the point that we're going to end this little video on, you are never, ever, ever, ever going to get anyone at a call center, whether it's corporate owned or owned by a subcontracting company, above team manager to help you with your problem. I have seen so many customers suffer because they believed that there was someone there who was going to help them beyond who could actually help them. The call center is there between you and the decision makers for a reason. And supervisors are the biggest part of that smokescreen. So it's never going to happen that you talk to a head honcho when you call a call center. You might be able to find an email address somewhere online. I would highly recommend that you go to Google and look up if you can't get your problem solved by either the care agent or his or her team lead, but you are never, ever going to get anyone beyond that to help you with a problem at a call center. So I hope all of this has been helpful. If you like what we've talked about today, go ahead and write it in the comments. Once again, please subscribe. As you can see, everything's brand new here. I am getting up a website. I'll go ahead and post the link. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye now.